Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're going to break down the incredible journey of a Bodhisattva. That's someone who makes a radical choice to postpone their own final enlightenment, all to help guide every single one of us there first. It's a path of unbelievable compassion and deep wisdom, and we're about to look at its blueprint.
Okay, so let's get right into it. The whole journey really kicks off with this fundamental choice, a fork in the road. On one side, you've got the Shravaka path, which is focused on achieving your own personal liberation from suffering. A worthy goal for sure. But then on the other side, there's the Mahayana, or the Great Vehicle path. And it's called the Great Vehicle for a reason. Its motivation is just infinitely bigger. The goal isn't just to save yourself, but to attain enlightenment for the benefit of all being.
So to really get a handle on this, we're going to follow a simple 6-part blueprint. We've just talked about that initial fork in the path. Next up, we'll map out the 5 main stages of the journey, then dig into its 2 core foundations. After that, we'll look at the 2 essential tools you need, climb up to the very summit of realization, and finally, see how reaching the top is actually where the real work begins.
So what's the big deal about the Mahayana path? What makes it so vast? It all comes down to the vow that lies at its very heart. A bodhisattva isn't just practicing to improve themselves. Their entire aspiration is to create the perfect conditions for every single being to find enlightenment. It's a radical shift from me to we, but on a scale that's literally universal.
So, what does this path actually look like in practice? This isn't some vague mystical quest with no signposts. The ancient texts, like the one we're looking at today, lay out a really clear 5-stage progression. It's a roadmap that takes a person from the very first spark of an idea all the way to supreme, perfect enlightenment.
Okay, what's so cool about this is how it maps out the whole inner journey. It all kicks off with a bodhi of aspiration. That's the moment you make that huge vow. Then comes the real heavy lifting, the bodhi of taming the mind. This is where you practice things like generosity and patience to get your own mental stuff under control. That practice leads to the bodhi of illumination, a massive breakthrough moment where you get a real insight into how reality works. From there, you reach the bodhi of reaching beyond, a really profound state we're going to talk more about in a bit, which finally culminates in the supreme bodhi of a fully enlightened Buddha.
All right, let's talk about the essential materials you need to even build this path. A great way to think about it is like needing 2 wings to fly. You can have the strongest wing in the world, but if you only have one, you're just going to spin in circles. You're grounded. These 2 wings are merit and wisdom. So here's the absolute key. You cannot practice merit and wisdom in isolation. They are totally dependent on each other. Merit, or fuda, is kind of your outward-facing work. It's the path of compassionate action. It's all about building a foundation of positive energy through generosity and ethical living. On the other hand, wisdom, or zhihui, is the inward-facing path of insight. It's about seeing through all our illusions about reality. And this quote from the source text just nails their relationship perfectly. It compares them to the moon and the sun. Think about it. Merit is like the moon. It creates the cool, fertile, nourishing conditions for things to grow. But wisdom is like the sun. It provides the bright light of understanding that makes that growth actually happen and points it in the right direction. You absolutely have to have both. So in order to cultivate merit and wisdom, a bodhisattva needs 2 very specific tools. Now, the word here is often translated as patience, but honestly, that doesn't quite capture it. It's much deeper than just, waiting in line. It's more like a courageous, unwavering acceptance, a kind of forbearance. The first tool is forbearance with beings, and this is what perfects your merit. It's the ability to stay compassionate and steady with all beings, no matter what they do or how they treat you. The second is forbearance with dharma, and this is what perfects wisdom. This is the radical acceptance of how things really are, their emptiness, their impermanence, without freaking out or resisting. By working on these 2 together, a bodhisattva develops limitless compassion and limitless insight. When you steadily practice merit and wisdom, and you power it with these 2 forbearances, you eventually reach the climax of the path. And this isn't just another level up. It is a fundamental shift in perception. It's a profound realization called non-arising forbearance. This is a total game changer. Non-arising forbearance is the direct, gut-level insight that nothing is ever truly born and nothing ever truly dies. It's seeing that everything we think of as solid and separate is really just part of this dynamic, interconnected flow that has no ultimate beginning or end.
And this isn't some cool intellectual idea you think about. It's a direct perception where all the little boxes and labels our minds create just dissolve. Getting to this point is the true entry into the Bodhisattva's way of life. It's considered a point of no return. They become what's known as an irreversible Bodhisattva. From this moment on, their progress toward becoming a full Buddha is basically guaranteed. Wisdom isn't something they have to strive for anymore, and compassion just flows out of them naturally, without being blocked by fear or confusion. But here's the big twist, right? You'd think reaching this incredible summit of wisdom would be the finish line. But in the Mahayana Path, for a Bodhisattva, this is actually the starting pistol. This profound insight doesn't lead them to withdraw from the world. It fuels an even deeper desire to engage with it. So totally grounded by this profound wisdom, the Bodhisattva dives right back into the world. They can see the ultimate emptiness, the lack of any fixed, independent existence in everything, and that frees them from attachment and fear. But at the exact same time, their immense compassion pulls them to engage with the suffering of beings who are still caught up in illusion. They don't cling to the peace of their own realization, and they don't run away from the messiness of the world. They can hold both perfectly. And that brings us to this beautiful paradox at the heart of it all. The deepest wisdom, the realization that there's no fixed self to save and no fixed beings who suffer, is the very thing that unlocks a boundless, unconditional compassion for everyone. So it leaves us with a final thought to chew on. If reality is ultimately empty, where does a bodhisattva's infinite and unwavering compassion truly come from?